Hello and welcome once again. In this video, I'm going to talk about the Photoshop CC 2019 updates, which was released in October 2018. So the first update I wanted to talk about is about the transformation, about the scaling. And on that, I have already updated the first video of this course, which talks about transformation. Still, I want to repeat that here. Now, if you want to scale down this image, meaning make it smaller or bigger, so you say Control T, and now if I scale it or make it smaller or bigger, it automatically maintains the proportion, that is height and width. Now earlier in the previous version, you have to hold on Shift key in order to get the proportion. Otherwise, what will happen is something like this, and this is also sometimes required, but then if you don't hold on Shift in the previous version of Photoshop, all the versions from version 1, you get this if you don't hold any key, that is the Shift key on the keyboard. But now you do not have to escape. Now you do not have to touch any key on the keyboard in order to get the proportionate scaling. On the other hand, if you hold on Shift, you distort the image. So it is reversed now. If you don't hold Shift, the image will maintain its proportion while scaling. But if you hold on Shift, then you will distort the image, you will distort the proportion. That's about the images. But if you are dealing with the shape, let me take the elliptical tool over here, ellipse tool over here, and hold on Shift on the keyboard, create a perfect circle over here. And now if I have to transform this by pressing Control and T or Command and T on the keyboard, and now if I don't hold any key on the keyboard, I distort this shape. But in order to get the perfect proportion or maintain it proportion, then I have to hold on Shift. So this is kept just like the previous version of Photoshop. There's no change, but as long as the images or the pixel layers like this photograph is concerned, you do not have to touch any key on the keyboard in order to scale this image with its proportions kept intact. And now let's move to the next update of Photoshop CC 2019, and that is about the undo command. So if you say Ctrl Z, you go one step backwards, and if you again say Ctrl Z, you come forward. So backward and forward. If you keep on pressing Ctrl Z all over again and again, so you'll keep on rolling down backward and forward. That was the Photoshop version till 2018, but with the 2019 update, this has changed. So if you say Ctrl Z, you go one step backwards, and if you again say Ctrl Z, you go one more step backwards. So let me show you the demo. So I'm just going to draw the digits, doing it with the mouse. So these are the 5 steps. So now if I say Ctrl Z, I go one step backward, again Ctrl Z, again Ctrl Z, again Ctrl Z, and again Ctrl Z. But now if I say Ctrl Shift and Z, then again I move forward. So I hope you understood this very simple update. The next update in Adobe Photoshop CC 2019 is very interesting one, and that is an addition of a new tool to the toolbar, and that is called frame tool. So you can hit K or to access the frame tool. This is coming from the page layouting software. So possibly Adobe Photoshop wants to expand this software and also add the page layouting capabilities to Adobe Photoshop, which is a good thing. So what does it do? You take the frame tool, and I have one image on the background layer. You just create one frame, and the photograph will be enclosed inside that frame. Now it is easy for you to just move it on the canvas and place it somewhere, Ctrl T, and you can scale it down And also you can click on the frame or the mask of the frame, and you can adjust the picture inside. You can make it smaller or bigger because it is a smart object now. So that was about the frame tool. You also have a variant that is the elliptical version of the frame tool. So let me create one more layer and create the elliptical frame, and now you can copy and paste images. So for example, let me take an image and say Control A to select all, Control C to copy, and come back here, and my frame is activated, and say Control V to paste, and it automatically pasted inside the frame. And now I can scale it down, and then I click on the frame, and then I can manipulate or transform the frame. So hold on Shift in order to distort the proportion, and now just click outside. You don't have to click enter. That is again a new feature of Adobe Photoshop 2019. You don't have to press enter or click on the accept transformation button. You just click outside anywhere and it will be done. So if you click on the entire layer, then you can take the frame as well as the encapsulated picture in it and place it somewhere else. So that's a new little small interesting addition to Adobe Photoshop CC 2019.